What's up gamers, Cryptico here, and welcome back to Lowering the Mark, a show where I analyze the current and former world records of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe time trial runs to see how these records get faster over time. We'll look at elements such as the loadout, racing lines, and mushroom usage to better understand what's bringing these times down. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to know when my videos go live. For today's episode, we're taking a look at the only course my dad will let us pick when we play with him, Excitebike Arena at 200cc. On May 5th, 2017, the world record for this run was set at 1 minute 18.596 seconds by the German player Kinzo. Fast forward to 5 months ago on May 23rd, 2020, and the world record was set at 1 minute 15.651 seconds by the Norwegian player Pi. That's a 2.9 second improvement between records and a 3.8% faster time. Our former world record holder Kinzo has broken 22 world records across 4 unique runs and has spent 135 days holding at least one world record. Our current world record holder Pi has broken 11 world records across 5 unique runs and has spent 197 days holding at least one world record. He still holds those 3 current world records from when we saw him last at the end of Season 2. At pre-release, the world record was set at 122, and it would quickly make its way under 120 and then under 119. It would get all the way down to a 118.2 thanks to Extreme before a loadout change brought it down to 117 territory by over 0.4 of a second at the hands of Canadian player Luigi Fan 2. Him and Extreme would trade world records for a brief moment before American players Jimmy and Carson ran the course. Carson would actually get the first sub 117 and hold on to the record for nearly 300 days. 2018 only saw 3 faster times go up, and 2 of them came from Carson after Lemon swooped in and put an end to his reign. His 116.1 would hold for nearly 290 days before Japanese player Davi came in and got the next big second break, dipping into 115 for the first time. After that, French player Victor came in and took the time down by a few tenths before Pi came in and took the top spot home to Norway. In total, the world record was broken only 34 times by an inclusive 12 players. The loadouts are pretty similar even though most of the components are different. Kinzo goes with the combo of Dry Bowser driving the Strudel cart with the roller wheels and the Super Glider. Pi goes with the popular combo of Roy driving the Biddy Buggy cart with the Azier roller wheels and the Flower Glider. As you probably don't remember from the Paco episode, Dry Bowser and Roy both have similar stats, but both players end up with an early advantage with their choice. For Kinzo, it's speed and grip stats, and for Pi, it's acceleration, handling, and mini turbo. Kinzo takes advantage of a half-point increase to his acceleration and mini-turbo stats along with a small boost to his handling stat by picking the Strudel cart. Pi nearly doubles that by picking the Biddy Buggy for its near full-point increases to acceleration and mini-turbo stats and also keeping his top speed on par with Kinzo. Blah blah blah, roller wheels make acceleration go brr, you get it by now. The Super Glider doesn't do anything for Kinzo, but it's not entirely a loss. He still comes away with above average acceleration, handling, and mini turbo stats while keeping his top speed where it needs to be for 200cc. Pi just reaps a final quarter point increase to those key areas because of the Flower Glider and is ahead in overall performance. Let's see how it paid off for him. Yes, I'm basically reviewing an oval course, but all the ramps make it feasible to divide it up into 3 sections. You'll see what I mean here soon. Kinzo hits a rocket start out of the gate and immediately heads right and pretty much just doesn't move for the rest of this section. He'll hit pretty much every ramp he touches for a jump boost and pick up his first 3 coins before the first turn. Pi also heads to the right off of the rocket start, but when he hits the first ramp, he'll charge up and release a mini turbo in the air before the second ramp in which he does the same thing but for a super mini turbo. After that, he hits 2 jump boosts back to back before the first turn where he leads Kinzo by just under half of a second going into S2. After using his first mushroom to cut out the turn, Kinzo comes flying down the straightaway off that ultra mini turbo and hops over the grass before hitting 2 major jump boosts and heading onto the left platform near the end of this section. Pi hits that same shroom spot before getting a super mini turbo followed by a quick mini turbo before charging up another mini turbo in the air off of the zipper ramp. He'll do that same thing 2 more times before landing at the base of a platform for another jump boost near the end of S2 where he now leads Kinzo by over 0.9 of a second. To close out the lap, both racers just hit a jump boost off of the platform and get a super mini turbo around the final turn before one last jump boost. Only difference is that Pi hits an additional mini turbo before closing out the lap where he now leads Kinzo by over 1 second. Kinzo has the same approach to S1 on lap 2, hit all the jump boosts. Only this time, he starts from the left side of the track and works his way toward the right after each ramp. Pi also goes left, but charges up his mid-air mini-turbo before hitting a jump boost off of the big ramp and then weaving between the smaller ramps before hitting another jump boost before the turn. His lead is extended to just under 1.5 seconds at the end of S1. Same shroom spot, same ultra mini-turbo and grass hop, and same set of jump boosts sum up Kinzo's S2 on this lap. So let's take a closer look at Pi's mid-air mini-turbo strat. After he hits the shroom spot, Pi needs to line himself up to where he gets enough hang time to charge up a full super mini-turbo right as he lands. He benefits from having a high mini-turbo stat as he can charge them up faster. He also needs to be sure he doesn't sway too far left or right, as that will throw him off his line and make this approach meaningless. I can only assume the reason that this is the meta is because it's less time spent in the air and more boost when you hit the ground. Whatever the reason, Pi takes full advantage of it and it adds to his lead, which now sits at 1.8 seconds going into S3. Both racers do the same thing they did on lap 1 to close out lap 2. Pi does a little better job at carrying speed more effectively and picking up more boosts throughout the race, and it's why he leads Kinzo by over 2 seconds going into the final lap. Speaking of final laps, this one is pretty much the same as lap 2. Kinzo gets big air on the ramps and stays on a nearly perfect line, and Pi hits those mid-air drifts on most of the ramps. There's nothing more to talk about, so I want to take this time to thank all of you for the amazing support that episode 22 received. I never thought I would rack up that many views in a single day off one of these videos. All the likes, comments, and views really mean a lot to me. I'm not just saying that, I seriously appreciate every single one of you that clicks on these videos, so thank you. Here we are at the end of the race where we clearly see that Pi did a way better job at navigating each ramp throughout the course as he comes through the finish line posting a time that is just under 3 seconds faster than Kinzo's former world record. Pi made this record happen by getting more boosts on the ground and carrying that speed more effectively on a near perfect line. Believe me, it's definitely not easy to string together a run like that where you need to be so precise in drifting in the air and landing to chain the next one. Let's hear some words from the man who made it happen. What was going through your mind when you broke this world record the first time?
It was in the middle of the night and I had been grinding for like 6 hours with a lot of fails. It was so hard to hold my eyes all the way open. When I saw I was still on pace, I didn't stress because I'd been failing all day, but then I finished with a weak lap 3 and somehow beat the world record by .008. I was so tired I forgot how to react and just went, nice.
How do you determine which ramps to trick off of and which ones to drift off of?
I haven't created a single one of the lines that I use in my run, and there's no better way to drive the track than the way it's being driven now. This track is primarily about staying in the air as little as possible, and the trick boosts are helpful because of the forward momentum you gain.
Are there any new strats that could potentially take this run under 115, or is it pretty much optimized right now?
There are no new strats that can be implemented as far as I know. You could do some minor optimizations to the last trick before the shortcut by hitting a low trick on the edge of the ramp, which saves a small amount of time.
Thank you for your time, Pi, and congrats on your world record. For the first time this season, we have best known splits that are spread out across multiple players and likely different runs. We don't know the final times that included the best laps 2 and 3, but we do know that the time that includes the best known lap 1 is incredibly slow when comparing it to the world record. Lap 1 still has a whole tenth of a second that can be knocked off. Lap 2 can get slightly better, but lap 3 is about as good as it gets right now. As Pi said, only small optimizations can be made to this course, but given how much time is available to knock off, it might not take that much to bring the time down further. The worldwide top 10 includes 6 national records and 4 continental records. At the top we have Pi, and less than 150 milliseconds behind him is the French record holder Victor, and in third we have the Spanish record holder Alberto. Fourth place belongs to the Asian record holder Dabi with 1 of 4 times in the world under 116. Spanish player Genzua and American record holder Carson go 5 and 6 with Tane and Army right behind them at 7 and 8, all separated by just 1/10 of a second. Rounding out the leaderboard is Oceanic record holder Panda and Japanese player JXS. Pi has held the top spot for quite some time now, and his time seems pretty untouchable for the most part, but you heard him say his lap 3 was pretty weak, so all it could take was a full run with a decent lap 3 and we may have a battle for the top spot again. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. That's all for episode 24. Hope you found it interesting. If you enjoyed watching me analyze an oval track with ramps, like and share the video and comment on which course you want me to analyze next. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.